Mark here from Mark's Reviews and Tutorials, and today we're going to be changing the oil in an F25 BMW X3. This guy here, this is a 2-litre turbo diesel in a 2011, but all the F25s and I believe the next model as well. And the oil change on these is very, very straightforward. So let's get it. First thing I noticed, as soon as I put this up on ramps, I've been working on a 305 series with my two cars lately, but we've just got ourselves now this X3. Is that I'm going to need a box to stand on to be able to get up and work on this, because it's just higher up. It's going to be very awkward to reach. So we've got a big beautiful motor cover up here to start with. That's the oil refill point there. But we've got to get this cover off. And it is just sitting on rubber grommets, this guy, so we can lift it up like that, and that'll give us access, as you can see, into the air cleaner. And you see around the back there, again, the grommets, that's this bit here that it's sitting into. So we'll lift that out, and around on the other side, out it comes. And we're out. So there's access to the air cleaner. There's the big grommets there, four of them around. And that's where the oil goes in. And the oil filter is around the back here. It's actually got an oil dipstick, which is a nice change from the cars I've been having. And this, yeah, down underneath there, you can just see it is the oil filter that we need to get out. No points for this one, BMW, if you're putting it in an easy spot, is actually down there. That little black that I'm highlighting with the torch down there. Your dipstick is there, and then right beside it is the oil filter. So to get at that, we've got hoses, pipes, tubes, and most importantly, this air cleaner is going to have to come off. So. Okay, so once the top is off, it's in another series of rubber grommets a little bit further down. So you pop that, pop them all off down around here, this one here, and then this comes out of the front like that. It's just again a press seal into the front, and this side point here, press down on that, here we go, to release that, and there we go, there's the next layer off, you can see in there. Now we're down to the top of the engine, and now we've got access to the oil filter. And now we can get at that oil filter cap. So that's just a matter of getting the right size socket onto there and screwing that off, and we'll be in. Down underneath the car, under the front, we come back, got ourselves a little reveal panel here, not very big. It's got a couple of what looks like 8mm bolts there, so we'll rip that off and have a look what's underneath. There we go, a couple of 8mm screws. And BMW clearly don't think you need much room up here. It's just a tiny little, I mean, have a look at that, there's my hand. Just a tiny little space, not even the length of a finger to get up there. But there's your sump bolt, and typical BMW, she's a 17mm, which every sump bolt I've ever come across in a BMW has been 17mm, the same as the wheel bolts. Although some, I think X5s have 19mm wheel bolts, but there you go. So we'll rip that out, and just a matter of cracking it with a socket just to loosen it, and then get a specialist oil drain pan. You're going to need quite a quantity of oil. There's about 6 litres, I think, in these. I'll put a chart up at the end of the video to see how much actually goes into one of these. This can hold enough, so make sure there's enough. And undo that, start the oil draining, then we'll go and get the filter out. Setting up under the car, you need an old oily rag. We can use paper if you want to throw something out, so you can wipe up any spills quickly, and like wipe your hand, you're going to get a little bit probably on your fingers. This is the time to get a disposable glove. You don't want spent engine oil getting on your skin. And also, sort out your socket at this point. You need to make sure it's going in the right direction. So that's anti-clockwise is undoing, that's what we want. Make sure you're not tightening the nut up when you get there. All right, so we'll pop underneath and we'll drain this. Okay, here we go. Go up and crack the nut to start with. Oh boy, that was tight. All right, so now as you're undoing the nut, put your bucket really central underneath it. And as you're undoing the nut, press up on the nut so to get as fewer leaks as possible. The turns, if you like. Here we go. Now we're out. So we get out of the way as quick as we can and let that drain. As you can see, that oil is disgustingly black. I've just bought this car, and by the service intervals it's saying it doesn't need an oil change, but as soon as I saw the colour of the oil, it was like, yep, you're coming out. And if you see here, the reason why you wear a disposable glove is because you always just get a little bit drips on you. So all right, now we're going to go up and remove the oil filter while that's fully draining out. Okay, so BMW normally have an oil cap down here with little fingers on it you can get off. This 2011 diesel is different. Now I'm up into spanners and stuff that I use for plumbing now. I've got here a 250mm shifter that is just going to sit on the top there, and that'll undo it, no problem at all. And I've also got, I don't know, is it a crescent wrench? One of the little hobbies, one of the things I do is actually buy tools in different countries when I'm there. I've got tools from Russia that I bought. This one is from when I was in America. It's a Craftsman tool, and it fits on the top there nicely as well. Just an adjustable spanner. So if some American want to tell me the proper name, put it in the comments please. But that's the one I'm going to use. So that's my, just turn the wheel up on that. So either the shifter or something like this. And again, undoing it in the anti-clockwise direction. Now we can see it really is down in the hole down there. So undoing this guy with this wrench. There we go, nothing fancy about this. But yeah, when you're planning to do this oil change, you're going to have something big enough to undo this. My biggest socket is a 22mm, and it was just short. There we go. That's out. You can clearly hear a little bit more oil coming out now too, as that airlock is released at the top. And when you're changing your oil, I would always change the filter. As some people say, change the oil filter every second time, but every little bit of crap and stuff that's in there that you don't want ends up in this filter. So I'll be doing everything you can to get that out. Get it up onto the paper towel. That was pretty dry actually. And there we have it. Filter cap and filter. There's a little extra bit on it. So there you go. When I was looking to find the right, look at the black, how black that is. That's terrible. I don't know how long this oil's been here, but that's not a good colour. This just pops off. Just give it a wind and a work. Here we go. Oh, and that's apart, ready for the new filter to go in. So the next question I'm going to address is what oil. And this is a huge question. I'll put up a link here to have a look at what BMW is best for my oil video, where I go into a lot of depth about that. But basically, with a diesel, you'll see here it says for petrol or diesel cars. It is actually different in the piston going up and down inside the engine. There's always a little bit of fuel can get past, particularly with an older, more worn engine. And if you've got a little bit of petrol going past or a little bit of diesel going past, it actually contaminates the oil in a different way. So for your diesel, buy oil that's made for diesel. Everything else, the lubrication, everything else is the same, but they need to have stuff in it so that it's, if there is some contamination goes on, it better copes with it. Now I've got the Magnatec stop start here. Again, the right grade of oil. I think Castrol's the only one doing the Magnatec. It's they're saying they've got molecules to make it hang on. This has a stop start engine, which we use. So you pull up at a set of lights or in a line of traffic, it does stop the engine and then start again. So yes, that oil is draining down and then restarting on a regular basis. So this is the oil I'm running with. Needs to be for diesel, and this one has got the extra for stop start. That's not absolutely necessary, the extra for stop start. If you get the right grade of oil that says it's good for a BMW and that it's good for diesel, then you'll be fine. Time for a new oil filter. Now, I would recommend that you buy a known brand of oil filter. just because, again, the couple of dollars you're going to save, if it fails in some way or something goes on, absolutely not worth it. Now, all of your oil filters should come with a new O-ring cap and a new crush washer. This is for the sump plug down below, the little crush washer, and the O-ring needs to be replaced off this here. So just a little screwdriver, and there's the O-ring right there. Pick it up, pull it off, just straight off over the top like that, and you'll see that there's a line in there where it runs. So while it's all fresh in your mind, get the new O-ring and put him back on. Try not to overstretch the O-ring. Put it back on, sit it down back into that slot like that, and you want to get a bit of oil onto there. By rights, I should be using brand new oil, not old oil. I'm going to keep wiping my hands here so that I don't end up with oil everywhere. Give that a clean. Making sure there's no contamination inside here at all. All right, new oil filter on. As you saw, it just pressed in over the top here, like that. That's in place. It gives a nice little click at the end when it's in place. So that's in, and now we'll put that back in and screw it back down. Here we go, nice and straightforward. It's good, easy access to that. Well, it's not the best access I've ever had, but we can get to it. And again, this is a plastic cap, so we're talking a plastic thread, so you don't start it off with a tool, you start it off by hand, work it into place, let it come tight, just have a good old look, make sure that it's, and feel the threads, make sure it's even on both sides, which it is, so that means you're not cross-threaded or anything like that. That oil filter is back, and now it's just a matter of going underneath, replace the crush washer, this little guy here on the sump plug, and put the sump plug back in, and then we're tipping oil back in the top again. So we're back underneath, just grab the sump plug from where it was, get your piece of paper towel or rag, give it a clean to get all that oil off. Now this is important, wiping the plug, because the plugs are a bit magnetic, so if there's any metal filings and stuff like that, they tend to stick to the plug, so you don't go sticking them back into the engine again. And then the crush washer that's on there needs to come off, and the new crush washer go on. That is still dripping just a little bit, but we'll go on. So we just put it back in, and then I'll spin it back up with the socket. Okay, so then that's back on, done up nice and tight. So we're all good there. Now we're just gonna put that little cover back on, do up a couple of screws, and go back up top, put some oil. The oil back in. So the filter cap is back on, tight, brand new oil filter. Sump plug is back in. You don't want to go tipping your oil in before you put your sump plug back in, that's really bad. So time for the new oil. Now, do be fussy at this point. Get your funnel and give it a wipe. Give it a clean, get all the dust out, all the dirt, make sure it's spot on, because you do not want to be introducing contaminants at this point. Give the oil bottle a wipe, get it all clean. Yep, as explained earlier, using Castrol Magnatech stop-start. Now, this is a 2-litre turbo diesel, as I said, 2011 F25 X3, and the capacity of oil in this is 5.2 litres is what I need to put in. And this guy right here is 5 litres, so I can up and whack the whole lot straight in and then just top up with 200 mils. What you've missed, I just pull the dipstick out and give it a wipe, just to get that little bit of oil out as well. Make sure that's going to sit there, just to drain all that out. And the same, when you give the engine a quick start, once you've got your full 5.2 litres in, let it run just for a couple of minutes, then turn it off, let it settle, and then check your oil again, and just make sure your levels are exactly where you want them to be. The engine oil change is all done. So now we've just got to put this car back together again. Putting this back into place, you can see here the little housings for the rubber grommets here, and little clips here. And those little clips sit into these rubber fittings at the back here. That's one in the back corner. There we go, there's number 2 sitting in place. And now that's sitting up on the duct over here, so let's make that the next thing we put in. This is all the non-pressurized part of the turbo, so it's not all perfect seal. The pressurized part of the turbo has to all be sealed up. That's all down below there. So, okay, that's now sitting in place. And getting this guy as well. Getting that into place. Nice. Okay, there's one. There is number 2 right there. Looks like he's in place as well. Yep, click, click. 2 rear things are in. 1, 2. Oh, check that one. Just take a bit of time when you're putting something like this in. Don't rush it. Yeah, no, that one's popped out. I can tell just by giving it a little lift there, you see it's not tight. So, lift that up again. Flex that down. There's a little bit of rubber there, you make sure you go inside. Okay, there. That's now right. Click. Down it goes. Cover number 1, cover number 2. This one here then goes on. And again, you can see the big rubber grommets all the way around. Just make sure it's all clear. Stick that on, line up the oil cap. And then put these in. That's the first one. There. Here's the second one. It's in place. There. Now with 2 in, the rest of it should be in line. So sounds good. Yep. Okay, that's done. Beautiful. Okay, congratulations. You are done. You've saved yourself quite a few $100s. You got good oil in there. You know the job's done properly. For your checklist, just make sure that the sump plug is in and tight, that the oil filter has been changed, that it's all done up tight, that you've put the new oil in, ready to go. So now I'm just going to give it a start up, and then I'll check the dipstick. I'll show you that as well. Okay, I've just given the engine a little start, ran it for about 1 minute, and now we just reach in over here, get our rag so we're not dripping oil everywhere, pull up the dipstick. So I'll give that a wipe. Again, a white piece of paper is the best. Just get a clean bit of your rag and dip it on like that. Haven't wiped it yet, but you'll see where the oil's at. When you've got brand new oil, you really can't tend to see it. So you need either a bit of shop cloth or a rag so that you can see it. So we'll put that back in, give it a sec like that, pull it out. Not the best position dipstick I've ever seen, but at least we've still got one with the diesel, so I'm not going to complain. Okay, clean bit of my rag. Hold the dipstick on like that. You can see it's about halfway is where it's coming to. So that's actually with 5 litres. I haven't put the 0.2 in yet to top that up. So I'll do that, but that's all good, ready to go. Okay, just the one thing that remains is to reset the service interval. So have a look at the link just here at the end of the video, and I'll show you how to go through that procedure and reset your oil change interval. Oh, and I promised the BMW X3 F25 oil quantities for all the different engines, and here you go. And you'll see there 5.2 litres for the n47 D20, which is my car.